Rob Zombie's Halloween took the world by storm in 2007 and is still a hot topic nearly 20 years later. Today, I want to go over the physical media release history of the movie and pick which one is the best. Hey, what is up everybody? Nick here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Rob Zombie's Halloween on physical media. Now, this one is very near and dear to my heart because it is the first Halloween movie that I saw in theaters. Yes, that's right. 13-year-old Nick made his way with his friends and his friend's dad to go see Halloween on opening day. Now, it was interesting because their dad was a big fan of the original, so he was actually really excited, and he was a big fan of Rob Zombie's music. And he, like a lot of older people at the time, were like, I don't know if this was for me. Now, I, however, loved it and have since the very first time that I saw it. But as time has gone on, it's definitely cooled and it's in the back half of my Halloween franchise ranking. But I still really enjoy it. This one in particular also means a lot to me because it was the year I began collecting the Halloween franchise in 2007. Now, it was early 2007 before the movie came out, but I was really excited for this movie because I had just begun collecting this series. But without further ado, let's get into the history. Rob Zombie's Halloween would make its home video debut in December of 2007 with Halloween, the Unrated Director's Cut. Now, I specifically show this one first because this is the one that was mass produced. We'll get to the next edition next, but this is the one that you are likely going to find on the shelves at Best Buy or Walmart if you went out to buy this movie. And why is that? Well, famously, Rob Zombie really loves to put his director's cuts out there. The studio is always getting in the way and telling him he can't put certain things in the theatrical cut of the movie, so he saves all the footage and goes, we're going to put it on a director's cut, and that's the edition I want people to see. Now, at the time, I loved this thing. I was confused when I watched it, though, because I was like, this breakout scene is not at all what I saw in the theater, and I feel like I'm seeing extra bits here and there. And I was right. Upon going back and watching the theatrical cut, I was able to spot all of the differences. But I love the unrated director's cut, aside from the breakout scene. In both of Rob's movies, I find that the director's cut improves the film vastly in every way aside from one scene. And that's the scene in this movie that I just can't really get behind. Now, this edition was great at the time, even though it is a clamshell, because honestly, like, this had everything for me. It has great disc art on both of them. It has a ton of special features and great cover art. But also on the inside here, I got this little like Halloween 35 free music downloads for emusic.com/Halloween. And most people would be like, why do you still have that? Why not just throw it away? You're totally right, but I don't know. It's like its own mini chapter insert, so I dug it. Now, in hindsight, looking back on this release, I definitely could have used more special features, but at the time, I felt like it had a lot, and it's still not bad. So overall, I was really happy with the first edition of Halloween, and not long after that, I would seek out the theatrical edition of Rob Zombie's Halloween. And just like that one, it's got the exact same special features, the same artwork on the back. It's a clamshell as well. I don't know what the obsession was in the late 2000s there. And this is really shitty. No disc art here. And that just goes to show you that Rob clearly wanted the unrated director's cut to be the edition that was widely circulated. But I was happy to get this one because I do prefer this breakout scene, as I said. However, everything else in the director's cut improves this movie. Scenes that need to be longer are longer. There's original music cues from the '78 movie. Tyler Bates' score shines so much more in that director's cut. And I feel like it fleshes characters and relationships out a bit more than this edition does. But I understand in hindsight why this was the edition that made its way into theaters, because it is a lot more briskly paced. It gets to the point, and that's what they were looking for. So while I prefer to watch the director's cut when I watch this movie, it's still nice to have this. Then in 2008, we would get the next release of Rob Zombie's Halloween, and that was the 3-disc unrated collector's edition DVD. Now, this was amazing at the time. I remember when I saw this thing coming out, I was like, a third disc? No way. Are we getting Halloween 1.5? Not necessarily, but the third disc you get here is incredible. I just want to say though, this may be my favorite artwork for any of these DVDs. I genuinely love that shot of Michael. But the third disc here, and the big selling point, the reason why you wanted to buy this thing, was Michael Lives: The Making of Halloween, which I have talked in previous videos before how this is one of my favorite making of documentaries I've ever seen. And that is because you don't see making of documentaries span the entire production of a film. This thing is over 4 hours long. You're seeing stuff from the very beginning, their casting, their script writing, all the way till the release of the movie. That is so cool. And especially at the time, I didn't feel like we got that kind of stuff. We'd get 20, 30-minute making of featurettes, but nothing in depth like this. So I will always be thankful to Rob Zombie for being like, you know what, we're going to do an entire documentary spanning every day on set. And it's one of my favorites. Now, of course, at that time with Blu-ray really starting to take hold, we would get the Blu-ray release of that exact same edition, except it is condensed to 2 discs on here. And the difference here really is that you get all of the special features put onto disc 1, and then Michael Lives is put onto disc 2. Now, there's not really a ton to say about this release, aside from the fact that at the time it was the greatest presentation of the movie, both in audio and video quality. It had all of the special features, and in my opinion, the best artwork. So in 2008, us Rob Zombie's Halloween fans were eating good, because we already had 4 different releases of the movie, and the most recent one was pretty damn great. Now, the next release of Rob Zombie's Halloween on physical media would come in the way of the Alliance double feature Blu-ray, and I believe this was in 2010. If not 10, it was 11. Now, the reason why I and a lot of people sought this out is because at the time, it was the only Blu-ray transfer you could get of the theatrical cuts of both of his movies. Yes, if you wanted to watch Rob Zombie's Halloween on Blu-ray up to that point, you could only watch the director's cut. This was the first one that actually gave you the theatrical cut. Now, I got this for Halloween 2, because if you guys know me, you know I hate Halloween 2's director's cut ending. Always have, never gonna like it. We'll get to that video next, okay? But I actually think this is a pretty good release. It's a good transfer. There's no special features on here, and you know how I am about 2 movies being put on 1 disc. It's just, I hate it. But it was necessary for me to get this. Next up, with the release of the Halloween Complete Collection set, we got a new Blu-ray for Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now, you know how I said with that 2-disc unrated Blu-ray that was the best presentation just in terms of artwork? Yeah, this overtook it in 2014. I freaking love this. And this is the original poster artwork, but I've just always loved that poster. And the fact that it is literally a collage of photos throughout the movie making Michael's mask, whoever designed that, incredible idea. Now, you're not getting anything new here. All of the special features that you had before are included on these discs. This is the unrated cut on the Blu-ray, but the thing about it was a new transfer done by Scream Factory, and I actually think it is a better transfer in my opinion. Now, the differences are probably minute, and I'm not an expert in this stuff, so somebody in the comments can let me know, but I feel like at this point, this was the best presentation of Rob Zombie's Halloween. I would have loved more special features on this thing, and I'm sad we didn't get them, but aside from that, this is a really solid release. Then in 2022, Lionsgate would do, I believe, a Walmart exclusive run of DVDs of Halloween and Halloween 2, and this was their version of Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now again, it is the unrated cut, and it is just 1 disc. The only special feature you get on here is the audio commentary by Rob Zombie. And this is, again, exactly the same as the unrated director's cut and presentation. I never opened this thing because I have no need to do so, and we all bought it for this. That's why. We bought it for the slipcover. Now, I can't remember if I paid $5 or $10 for this, but honestly, I was like, whatever. This kind of broken glass slipcover is kind of cool, but it's especially cool on the back. I love that artwork. So while I wish Lionsgate would have done more in terms of, I don't know, presentation and special features, it's a cool slip. And now this is not a surprise to any of you guys. I did a solo video on this, but the final release of Rob Zombie's Halloween I own also happens to be my favorite, and that is the 2018 Amazon Steelbook. Now, I'm not going to get in depth as to why this is my favorite. You guys can watch that video if you want to. I personally feel like it's the best presentation, both in terms of just like the case itself, all of the artwork, everything that's included, and it's got all the special features from previous releases, and in my opinion, the best transfer that I have seen, because we sadly don't have a 4K. So if you want my opinion of the edition of Rob Zombie's Halloween to get, it's this one. I found this one at FYE, and I believe when I found it, it was $19.99. So I don't think it's ridiculously priced. If you can find this edition out in the wild, in my opinion, it is the GOAT for Rob Zombie's Halloween. at least so far. Now, there are two other releases of Rob Zombie's Halloween that I do not have. First is the 2023 Via Vision release, the Ultimate Edition of Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2, which I believe includes both cuts of both movies. I don't own this, but I love this thing, and this is something I definitely want to pick up. So if any of you guys own the Via Vision, please let me know down in the comment section what you think of it and what it offers that I maybe don't have up to this point. And then the next one was the Walmart exclusive steelbook with Lionsgate, which had Halloween and Halloween 2. And while I do love the steelbook, like I'm a sucker for steels, if you know me, you know that, I have an issue with both of them being in one. I just feel like it's kind of lazy by Lionsgate. If anything, I think you could have gotten more money out of Halloween fans if you had released them separately. I don't know why they didn't. I also would have loved to have seen what the artwork would have looked like if each one had a standalone edition. But I'm probably going to end up buying this one sooner rather than later because I keep thinking about it, so I might as well just get it. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on that release down below, and tell me if there's anything on there that really stands out to you. But that's the history of Rob Zombie's Halloween on physical media. Now, this has a more extensive history than Halloween Resurrection. And why is that? Well, because it was a more successful movie. It definitely reinvigorated the franchise. Whether you loved or hated this thing, it made a lot of money and it got fans talking again. And it got a sequel 2 years later, for good reason, because it was popular. Now, 20 years almost later, people look back on these movies, I think, a little more kindly than they did in 2007. But that is a conversation for another day. So I want you guys to tell me what your favorite release of Rob Zombie's Halloween is and why. What is a release that I showed today that you're like, I have to get my hands on it? Whatever it is, comment down below and let me know. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.